could save so much money, like not having a helicopter crash.
Yeah.
Welcome to Sincast, presented by CinemaSins.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Sincast. This is a mini-pod of Suicide Squad. Hey, that rhymes. Anyway, this is Chris Atkinson with CinemaSins, joined as always by the voice of CinemaSins, Jeremy Scott.
Yo.
And from Music Video Sins, Barrett Shear.
We're disappointed.
How about that Dunkirk teaser, huh?
So, yeah, the Dunkirk teaser is fantastic.
It is.
It's one of the best trailers I've ever seen.
It's awesome.
Anyway, prepare to hear fucks a lot in this movie, in this little mini pod.
Yes. And spoilers.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there'll be spoilers in this too. I guess we can do non-spoiler right off the bat and say this is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not good.
This movie's biggest problem for non-spoiler talk is tone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's trying... I said this on Twitter last night. It absolutely feels like a movie where the studio cut their own edit to try and make it lighter. And you end up with two different movies, basically, in terms of tone.
At least.
It's kind of what reminds me of Snakes on a Plane, which was originally supposed to be like a dead serious Snakes on a Plane movie until the internet got a hold of it and made it into it's still not good, but it became a different thing after that. And of course, another movie that everybody keeps talking about is Fantastic Four. Yeah. It has a lot of similarities with that. I don't think any movie has ever been good that it gets out into the news that this type of thing happened. Right. Where they took it out of the director's hand and they said, we're going to make this a different kind of movie and we're going to insert scenes that don't make much sense, but it'll be funny, and then we'll have the serious part of it, and then it'll be funny again. And it's never an enjoyable experience. It never is.
It's a collection of scenes, just almost very much like Batman versus Superman, of getting to the next scene and then linking that scene up to a musical track and then going jarringly to the next scene with another musical track and just kind of piecing those together instead of a cohesive, linear narrative.
Well, it's just I feel like you can see the gritty action film they had to begin with. You hired David Ayer, who makes gritty LA street crime movies.
End of Watch.
Wrote Training Day.
Yep.
Made a movie with Keanu and one with Christian Bale. I always forget which one's which, but one is...
Harsh Times?
Street Kings and Harsh Times. Yeah. And they're all watchable, but this guy does not make Scott Pilgrim movies.
No.
That's not what he does. And when this movie starts... throwing in the zany, it's completely jarring. If you just picked one of those two directions, I think this movie could have been saved.
Yeah.
It could have been great as a zany Deadpool kind of Scott Pilgrim thing. It could have been great as a realistic, gritty David Ayer film. But instead, we get half of each.
Yeah.
It's another sort of example of a studio not realizing the kind of property they have. Most people are going to give you the benefit of the doubt just because it is these characters. Yeah. It's in the Batman DC universe and all that other type of stuff. So let the director go ahead and make his movie. And you can, whatever it is, people are going to come watch it because it's that type of built-in type of audience. When you come in and meddle, you immediately get a whole bunch of people going, all right, well, this is probably not going to be very good. And you still got 135 million over the weekend. That's about as much as it's going to make, though, because it's going to nosedive.
I saw a headline on IO9 that said, Suicide Squad makes 140 million because we don't deserve better movies.
Right. It's pretty much true. Because I heard, this is sort of an aside, but buying my ticket, there were like people in front of me, and one of them was like, yeah, a friend of mine, he watched this and he really loved it and everything. It's like, but the critics, man, they really hate it. It's like, well, that's how critics are. They're critical. And I'm like, and I was sitting there like, fuck you. Fuck you, dude. They're critical. Critics walk into a movie and they want to enjoy it just like anybody else does. And I don't really consider myself a professional critic, even though I've reviewed movies for a really long time. But nobody walks into the movie going, all right, impress me. You know, they just want to come in and they want to see something. And that's what I did with this movie. I was there at the opening logos and everything, all that weird pink and green color and all that stuff going on. And I'm like, yes, I'm okay. I might enjoy this. I don't know. I mean, I'm just going to kind of watch it and see.
Then you get 8 pop songs in the first 5 minutes.
I have never been more aware of a soundtrack than in this movie.
It's completely off-putting.
Yeah.
And like I said on Twitter, the beats are either too on the nose, right? Like we cut to Harley Quinn's intro and it's "You Don't Own Me."
Yep.
We cut to Amanda Waller's intro and it's "Sympathy for the Devil." Or they don't make any goddamn sense, and we're gearing up to 2 Trailer Park Girls Go Around the Outside, and I'm just like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
There is one exception to that, by the way, is the scene where Deadshot is out there practicing and rehearsing for everybody and showing them his gun skills. They use Kanye West's Black Skinhead. And it's awesome. I think that's a very good use of that song with that scene.
But by then, you've already beat me over the head.
Oh, yeah.
With jarring pop songs. I don't know.
That's what killed me, is because it was actually done right, and I thought it was really nice. And if that had been kind of the centerpiece of that, it would have been much better.
Let's give the non-spoiler people a couple of bones of things we liked, because I did enjoy that scene.
Oh, yeah.
I did enjoy Will Smith saying, "Oh, you almost be crazy," like when he realizes there's live ammo. I really enjoyed the shining in battle moment about halfway through the movie, even though by that point I'd seen 80 million bullets fired in this movie.
No kidding.
But going into the movie, I was like, how are you going to make a guy who's just really good at shooting interesting to me? But that scene did it, I thought. And it has to do with the way I think everybody around him turns in awe at what he's doing. I enjoyed that scene. I think Will Smith and Margot Robbie are both great in this movie.
Margot Robbie is almost like Kate McKinnon in Ghostbusters.
Stealing the show?
She's basically stealing it, obviously enjoying it, having a good time, doing all these things, but yeah, and Will Smith is fine. I think there's a lot of earn that paycheck type of dialogue in this for him, unfortunately, because it's a lot of like cut to him, have him say something that's got 5 words in it, and then move on.
And you got the roll credits moment. Oh, we're with some kind of Suicide Squad. Like, why do you keep scripting that shit? Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. But anything else non-spoilery, or do we want to get into the spoilers?
Oh, let's go on.
Let's dive in.
Go into the spoilers. So this movie is a total mess as far as plot is concerned.
Yeah.
I did not know what was going on for a good duration of it. And there's just too many things going on all at once. There are 2 character introductions in this of Will Smith's character and Margot Robbie's character.
Yes, they both get 2.
They start off with them, and then they go to the opening credit sequence, and then they go into the Viola Davis thing where she's just sitting there talking about, and like, we've already been introduced to these guys. Go on to the next ones that you don't give any time to, and don't tell us what they do at all. Like, I didn't know what the Diablo guy did until they showed the iPad thing of him. Unless they showed something before, I just didn't see it.
No, I think you're right.
The iPad thing where he's like, flaming all those guys on like a soccer field or something like that.
Well, and they outright give the finger to that Native American character. They're just like, he gets out of a truck after everyone's been geared up or whatever. Oh, here's this guy. He can climb anything. And 5 minutes later, he is dead.
Yeah.
He is dead.
Done.
He's only there to show us somebody getting the consequences of the stupid exploding thing they shot into their neck. That's the only reason he's even written into the film.
They just kind of like do this a lot where a character will just be introduced out of nowhere and like, all right, he's part of the team now.
Yeah, and I think with Slipknot, actually, he got a chance to punch a woman in the face though before.
Good for him. And Katana is one of the most paper thin characters I've ever seen in a movie. Like, why is she even there if you're going to, give her, you're ignoring her the whole time?
Although you never saw X-Men Apocalypse, though, so...
I have not seen that movie yet.
She shows up, and it's like, oh, she's part of the team now. Oh, here's a flashback of her kicking some ass. All right, well, she uses a sword. I get that.
Yeah,
and then it moves on. And it's just bad in that way that... I guess the non-nitpick of this movie is that the story is terrible. Like, there's no coherence to it. if you've read all the comic books, maybe you can piece all those things together. Sorry, I haven't read the comic books. I have no fucking clue what's going on. The action is not good. It's not, and the villain is, I mean, come on. The villain of this movie is terrible. What the fuck does she do?
Yeah, we don't know. She's a witch. She's magic, but she's building a machine.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's a really strange decision. From my understanding, the Suicide Squad in the comics are usually dropped in to like rescue POWs in enemy territory or whatever, right?
Oh, yeah.
If you die, we don't care. If you succeed, we'll be happy. So a lot of fans, I'm not one of them, I've never read those comics, but a lot of the fans are upset that they chose to make this the villain because it's completely out of character for the books.
And maybe it's things are just jumping around so much in this movie. I didn't understand even why they, like, the very beginning scene, Viola Davis is sitting there talking about, like, we need these guys because we don't know, there might be another Superman out there who's not good.
Right.
And so there might be some supernatural shit out there. We don't know. Is it just me, or is it really her own fault that there's even a bad character in this? Like, it's like she tries to get the Suicide Squad together, and there's not a bad guy until after they've assembled it.
Right. Well, what's funny is she sells the Suicide Squad on the Enchantress's powers, right?
Right.
She can go steal files from Iran in a half a second or what have you. The very second she gets approval, that character goes rogue.
Yeah.
Her plan has just fucked up.
Right.
And they go, well, I guess we better put her plan into action
Right.
and let her plan cause this.
Right. She basically starts all of this, and then she just happens to be like possessing the brother of the witch, just like the statue of the brother, just like in her hotel or something like that. And she comes in and is like, oh, my brother in a statue. Let's put this in the next guy that I can find in a bathroom. And like, I was just so puzzled during this whole thing. I couldn't tell whether she's supposed to be a good character or a bad character. I guess that was, was the point, was that she was kind of she was an innocent person who got possessed by this witch. But then this is another thing I can't stand about movies too. Like, we went back to where she came from and we found her heart.
Yeah.
Like, she just left her heart just lying.
Why did the Enchantress ever leave that cave without her heart in the first place?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, why? Well, they'll never go looking for that. Fuck that.
Well, this movie has one of the worst cases ever of like forgettable villain henchmen that we just want our good guys to have somebody to mow down, right?
Yeah.
With the bubble black zombie head thing that she's doing
those
to them.
aliens were terrible. Like I mean,
they stand up in line for the kiss line.
Yeah,
and she kisses them, and then they become bubblicious. They're like the grapes on Fruit of the Loom.
Yeah. Even though they don't look exactly like them, I just kept thinking of the Daleks from Doctor Who or whatever. I mean, and they're not nearly as cool as those. They're just random fodder for bullets, is what they are.
They are.
And that leads me to another thing. Like, I can't stand it in movies where they tell you that this is a witch and she's otherworldly and she's got all these different powers, and a fucking man-made bomb blows them away somehow.
Yeah.
Like, I've never enjoyed that about movies, and I've never enjoyed it when they are like, well, this is an indestructible force, let's shoot bullets at it. I've never liked any of that type of stuff.
And I'm going to get off topic for a second, but why does Diablo have like a secret power-up that even he doesn't seem to know about until the very moment he becomes a giant fire monster to actually punch with the brother?
Yeah.
Like, he's just a fire-breathing, arms, mimics fire, and that's all we've ever known of him. And then at the very end, he gets punched, and he turns into this giant fire giant.
Yeah.
And says, it's on now, bitch, in some foreign language.
Yeah.
Is he also an Enchantress? Is he 3,000 years old? Are they going to explain it?
It looks like it, no.
I don't think they ever explain it. And I just... I'm okay with them introducing more supernatural elements into the story, because I feel like, though, it's in Batman's world, which it makes it weird that there's all these different like superpowered like mutants that are going around.
Yeah, that's true.
Like it's a weird thing for me to see this in Batman's world. Like, all of a sudden you're going to introduce, Wonder Woman, who's been around for centuries, and you're going to introduce, Aquaman and all these different like, people with all these kind of abilities. I know that's what Justice League is all about and everything, but the Batman world we've been taught is kind of it's weird to see all these type of like mutants, like X-Men running around in it and everything. It's a little off-putting, but.
Well, let's talk about Batman for a second. One of my favorite episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer ever is it flips the script and Xander is going off on this side mission that doesn't seem important.
Oh, yeah.
But we keep getting glimpses of Buffy and everybody else fighting huge demons in the other room.
So
what have
great.
you. The Joker and Batman is basically the Xander story, and I would almost rather see that.
Oh, yeah.
But we get the Buffy fighting the monster here and only glimpses of Xander. But like, I feel like both the Joker and Batman are pretty much wasted in this movie.
Oh, Joker especially is wasted in this. Like, I'm kind of fine with Batman making like cameos or whatever, because if you put him in too much, then it should be a Batman movie at that point. But like Joker, how in the world did they fuck this up, man? This is Jared Leto doing an okay job for basically was just a glorified cameo of a character that everybody wanted to see. And I just didn't get it. I didn't like it one bit.
No,
it wasn't fun in any way.
No, the only thing that was, I think it was a retread and a different costume of Heath Ledger's Joker with it's more growly,
Yeah.
But besides that, like, I don't really know what the huge difference is. Like, they're both maniacs. They're both agents of chaos. I guess this one's more of a mob boss now than Ledger's one, but I didn't really get much out of it. I'm sure if you explored it more, it would be interesting. But his performance, I didn't think was as out there as everybody said it was.
No, definitely not.
And somebody on Twitter was giving me grief because I complained about them turning the Joker into a glorified mob boss, and they were like, well, Heath Ledger's Joker was a mob boss in Dark Knight. And I was like, fucking no! He was like an agent of chaos.
Yes.
He took down the mob bosses.
He recruited schizophrenics and
he
people
was
from
not
the
a mob
asylum.
boss.
Yeah, don't give me that shit. That's some bullshit right there. This character is so. What is it? It confuses the movie even further because what we are supposed to be watching here is this group of bad guys being hired to fight this other worse person or worse witch or whatever, and he's in here like, let's break out my girlfriend out of this thing. And that's all his function is.
Don't you think it might have been better if they had gotten the Suicide Squad together to go after the Joker?
Yeah.
And then Harley Quinn has this occasional moments of conflict or subterfuge or what have you. And I agree with you on Batman. If you put Batman in this movie more than he is, it's just a Batman movie. And he kind of does at least justify his presence by arresting one of them or two of them or what have you. But Joker, I feel like, should have been in a lot more to save that character or just cut him completely.
Yeah, you could have cut him completely out. Would have been totally fine.
Yep.
It wouldn't have been it wouldn't have been a great movie, but he would have not had to worry about him at least. There's just too many things going on all at once in this.
This is also, like, in the comics, to my understanding, Harley's obsessed with the Joker. He's not obsessed with her. He will sleep with her or whatever, but like he'll screw her over, he'll leave her to save himself. And this movie gives us both, because in the drowning scene, Joker and Harley go into the water, Batman gets down there, Joker's fucking gone.
Yeah.
Harley's body is laying there limp on the car, and he bailed.
Yeah.
But then we're going to see him rescue her twice later in this movie, like he cares about her like a boyfriend would.
Right.
And so it's like, again, trying to have the best of both worlds.
Which is also weird because in the cartoons and the comics, she, I thought, was supposed to have, because she's been so abused by him, she is supposed to have kind of like conquered those demons and doing her own thing, right? Like she's tangentially like connected to him, obviously, but I think she's supposed to have been moved on from this. All we see in this one is him straight up abusing her and making her do whatever he wants to, and then her just blithely going along with it for the whole movie.
Yeah, and completely jumping off topic, that guard at the prison, they named that character over-the-top, gross, sexist guy, right?
Yeah.
Like in the script, that's his name, right? Because I was uncomfortable. I know you want to show they're being mistreated, the guards are evil, what have you, but you don't have to go all the places you went with that guy.
Yeah.
Like, he basically eye fucks her with 20 witnesses.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I didn't get it. I didn't get the whole, I don't understand the Harley Quinn character this movie gives us. I thought she was the best performance.
Yep.
She lights up the screen, but I don't understand this character as presented.
Yeah.
I really don't. It feels like
Yeah, it's like she's a psychologist and then falls in love with Joker during her sessions.
Yeah.
Which, I mean...
That's literally impossible.
Yeah.
Even if that's how it's written in the original comics.
Oh, my God. I mean, that is egregious. But am I also like out of the norm when her accent is egregious to me too? Because is like New York Cockney almost like the only accent that she can do from Wolf of Wall Street?
She does kind of go back and forth on that, doesn't she?
Yeah, and then it's like so pronounced, and then it's like, oh, hey, I talk like a normal human being. Basically.
Yeah.
Anyway.
There was. I want to get into a couple of nitpicks on this. This is just me. This is my own personal issues. I am highly aware of eating in movies. Like that's the reason why we have an Apple Sin, because I noticed over the years, every bad guy comes in eating an apple. Now, in this movie, nobody eats an apple that I don't think
so.
But that opening scene is one of the most annoying things I've ever watched, because they are sitting there with food in their mouth, talking about Deadshot and all that. They're just like, there's like actual shots, just the edit of them putting a fork of steak in their mouth.
Yeah.
And then there's like just them chewing and all that. It's like the entire scene is them eating.
By the way, the restaurant is called Cicada.
Yeah.
Who's gonna eat at a restaurant that's named after locusts?
Fucking nobody is what. And then there's also a point where the guy, the soldier guy that falls in love with the witch girl.
Flag.
Yeah, I don't remember all these fucking names. There's a point where he walks up to a window with a chicken wing, just sitting there like, oh, nom, nom,
that chicken wing was so out of place.
Yeah, exactly.
I was expecting a KFC container on the counter.
Yeah, I know. Same here. And I was just like, man, guys, come on. What is the obsession with the eating here? Did you even realize that? I've always had a problem with that. It's just a me thing. But goddamn, man, like they're sitting there talking with the food in their mouth.
Well, and it's not that chicken wing. It's not just that he's eating chicken. It's like he goes at that thing.
Yeah,
like he's
man.
holding it perpendicular and starts at the bottom and takes
it's a thoughtful looking out the window tear at a chicken wing.
I mean, God. I hope that's one of the things they went back and reshot to try and make the movie
more
better.
Chicken wing.
We need a shot of him eating a chicken wing.
By the way, also, this is another just funny nitpick type thing, has nothing to do with the quality of the movie, but I've started to become very aware in a lot of movies, somebody shows up to a thing and somebody goes, "You're late."
Oh yeah,
they're always late.
Yeah.
And it makes no difference to anything.
No.
Like they don't get punished for it. They don't not get to go or anything like that.
It's just a cheap writer's ploy to tell us backstory that they were supposed to meet. And
yeah, and it just I have now officially gotten tired of it. It's going to show up in a lot of Sins videos now, because it's like every movie I hear now is like there's somebody showing up to a thing. "You're late."
Yeah.
"You're late." What does it matter? What does it matter?
Yeah.
There's no reason for. Okay. Anyway, let's get back to the meat of the issue here.
I think I emailed Barrett last night with a simple question. Did Enchantress kick Harley Quinn in the crotch?
Oh, she did.
It happened.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
There's a shot that's pretty clearly that. Yeah.
I really don't know what to make of that.
Well, not to mention that the Enchantress is out there punching and kicking these people in the first place.
Yet again.
She's going to fist fight. She's throwing down. She's Voldemort throwing down the wand and shit kicking Harry Potter.
Yet again, you have supernatural people going, "Yep, let's go to the fist."
I'm going to do an elbow to Will Smith's
I may
head.
have spells that can kill this guy, but let's punch him.
But no, I'm going to do a nut shot to Harley Quinn and send her across the room.
Yeah.
And that was, it had the camera angle right between the legs, so we got that whole effect there.
Is that... I'm being serious. Is that supposed to be funny? Is that supposed to
I don't think so.
shock
I don't
me?
think they did it. I don't think they did this nearly to the point of let me show you this. Kind of like So I Married an Axe Murderer, when they do the same thing. Like So I Married an Axe Murderer, obviously it's the big joke. But like in this, it's kind of you didn't even know that it really happened. You were actually like, did that really happen?
Yeah.
It's done, I guess, subtly enough that I don't think it's supposed to emit a huge laugh.
But
anyway.
it still pulled me completely out of the movie for like 5 minutes. I'm trying to figure out, did I just see that?
Well, luckily you're at the very end of the movie
Right.
at that point. But,
Right.
But yeah, I guess I can see what you're saying. Like it just kind of seems, it's out of place, especially considering who they're fighting. That brings me to the other thing about this is that the Viola Davis character wants to get this Suicide Squad together to fight things like this. And they're like, well, what if it's another Superman comes down? They're not going to be able to fight a Superman type.
Right. Well, because half of them don't even have powers.
Yeah. I don't understand where they're coming from on this. Like why they need these type of people. And there are certainly some Navy SEALs out there that can do what these fuckers
Flag
do.
even says as much in the beginning of the movie. He's
Oh,
like,
really?
just let me get some soldiers and we'll go in and do, like, these guys aren't going to work out.
Yeah. Also, and this could be just the fact, I think this was just the fact that I was distracted by some of the people that were in the theater and everything. I did not even catch the reason why she kills a whole bunch of FBI agents in that one scene.
No, it's just it's a throwaway reason in it, and this scene illustrates the two movie tones at once because she shoots like 8 people who work for her, innocent people,
Yeah.
and the reason is they've seen this stuff.
Right.
They've seen the Suicide Squad and Enchantress stuff. They must be murdered.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
But immediately Deadshot goes, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like he's making one-liners after this. So that's the perfect illustration of the two movies bumping up against each other and not making sense.
Well, and even the other guy is just sitting there going, well, I can't blame you.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Seriously.
like, here's the thing. You go to the FBI not to reveal secrets anyway, right? So why would any secret like this be like something we can't let them have that secret at all?
Presumably, they've been walking around with this job for quite some time.
Oh yeah, they know
instead
the
of-
consequences.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not death just because you saw something.
Yeah.
I mean, can we agree that the movie just wanted to show us that Amanda Waller is a lot eviler than we thought?
Yeah.
And this is how
There
they chose
is
to do
no
it.
doubt about that.
Well, and one thing that got me is she's also apparently helicopter crash proof.
Oh my God! Everyone in this movie is
Yeah.
helicopter crash proof. The
It's-
whole
Yep.
Suicide Squad crashes in the very
Yes.
first arrival in the city, and they all just walk out.
Yeah.
And
They
Deadshot's
walk
like,
out.
we're fine.
no big deal.
Harley
You
Quinn
don't
is just
have
shaking her head.
superpowers.
Yeah.
There's only 2 or 3 of you that do. You should be dead.
Yeah.
They're harnessed in, and that's the best
The
they could
Joker survives
The
a helicopter
Joker survives
crash.
his
There's
crash.
3 helicopter crashes where no one dies.
Yeah.
Fucked
And-
up.
and not
What's
only
what's
that,
the
but-
point?
do.
Yeah.
And
Well-
her cell phone survives too, that's queued up with all of the neck bombs
You
on
could
there too.
save so much money, like not having a helicopter crash.
Yeah.
Just have them land safely.
Well,
Why does it
We're
have
gonna
to
trim
be a
this
thing?
budget.
Yeah.
I'll tell you how we trim the budget.
Yeah. Don't have them crash every single time and have them walk out of it.
And then she gets captured by Enchantress, and instead of getting turned into a Dr. Pepper vampire, she gets hooked up to some kind of IV.
Yeah.
And there are moments in this climax where Enchantress is intentionally attacking secret targets of the United States government.
Yeah.
Like there's that base she blows up. That's a black site. How does she even know about that? Well, she knows about it because she's zapped into Waller. Why?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's never explained and never come back to the whole
Oh
time.
my God. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like they cut the hell out of the end of this movie. Maybe they just didn't shoot enough. I don't know.
Do we know what the weapon is that
No,
she's building?
we don't.
It's
It
just
looks-
a little
it's just a
circle, like an
bugaboo.
Avengers type of thing that she has to hula hoop in front of constantly.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it doesn't.
Yeah.
She's in constant. She's like one of those things that you put on the dashboard. The Hawaiian girl that
Yeah,
has
yeah,
to like,
yeah.
go back and forth with it.
It's exactly like
she's
that.
just like
Yeah.
issuing vague threats as she's moving her hips,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, she looks like a boss at the end of a video game. It's like we're playing Altered Beast or some shit. You know?
She does.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I don't know where this movie was going. I don't know where you're coming from if you do enjoy this movie. I'm not holding it against you. If you like this, I just don't know where you're coming from.
Well, Kevin Smith
Yeah.
loved it, but he also named his daughter Harley Quinn.
He did.
So, as much as I love that man, it's hard for me to take his rave super seriously.
But what is it that you can enjoy about this movie?
I
don't know.
I think I know because halfway through, I was thinking to myself, "This is a video game."
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what they've made, and video games typically are just like these series of events that you go through and you fight and you do your thing, and then you move on to the next scene, the next level. And halfway through, that's what I was thinking is like if you conceptualize this as a video game put to film, I could kind of get behind that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes completely off the rails again. So there's that, and then the part of me thinks that there's so much just bonkers stuff in this, and only maybe 2 or 3 dead scenes. I think if you're the right age, if you're on the right drugs or something like that, and you just kind of go in there and with the mind completely off, not to insult people that did like it, but like I think if you kind of go in with that mentality,
yeah.
We don't have to leave this in the podcast, but I took so much shit last night for saying the movie didn't respect its female characters. Am I wrong?
Fuck no.
You're not wrong. However, I kept thinking to myself, Margot Robbie is sex. She is sex. You can put her in jeans and a t-shirt, and there's no way that they can't shoot her in a way that's going to be like, they're lingering a little bit too much or whatever. Now, they obviously put her in as skimpy as an outfit as possible in this, and are always showing ass shots in this. I mean, it's constantly
showing us men looking at her ass.
And men. Now, the men leering thing is maybe possibly the biggest problem, is because it's just so dirty when you're thinking of it that way. However, I'm a dude, and I like looking at Margot Robbie, and she's just sex on wheels. And I'm sorry, and I like her as an actress too. I think she steals this movie. I think regardless of whether they sexed her up or not or whatever, I think she's just good in general. I've seen her in a lot of movies now. And
and the character of Harley Quinn is very sexualized, and I should have chosen my words better on the tweet. I'm glad I didn't call the movie sexist, because that's not what I think. But I think the reason I said that was the punch to the face that seemed designed to elicit laughter, and the kick to the vagina, which seemed designed to elicit something and seemed really out of place.
Not only that, but in the whole build-up to the final scene, Deadshot goes to Rick Flag and says, "That's your woman, right? Why don't you go over and like smack her on the ass and set her straight?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, the fuck? Right. Seriously, this is like, is that humorous?
It basically goes to show that just because you have 2 very strong female characters doesn't mean you can get away with suddenly like saying all this sexist dialogue and all this other type of. It's kind of like what you were talking about with Ghostbusters, where they were, where they just kind of like, oh, always late to stuff, all that type of shit. Like, stop putting that shit in there.
Yeah.
Just because you have strong female characters doesn't mean you get to take pot shots out of them.
No.
And by the way, I think most of my opinion of this movie comes down to this ending scene, because it's just so many things about it that don't make any fucking sense. But she knows they're in there. She knows that, like, before they make any appearance or anything, the Enchantress is like, you guys have shown up. She's kind of like, like the
Gozer.
Gozer, and like knows that they're there, and then starts giving them visions of like what they really want and all sort of stuff. But during the scene where Margot Robbie approaches her and is all during this fake, like, I'm going to bow down to you thing, she can't recognize that she wants that sword and is about to cut her heart out.
Yeah, she can't read her mind.
Yeah, I mean, don't tell me this witch has these kind of powers and then drops the ball at that moment.
That's the problem, because we're picking at things that people could explain away, and like, oh, it's either in the comic books or it's explained otherwise, and that. But the movie sets up really no clear rules for itself to play by, and we would have gone along with some sort of rule structure of like, this is the limit of that power, and it just doesn't do that. It doesn't play right. It doesn't play by its own logic.
And of course, Harley Quinn, after she kills Enchantress, goes, "You mess with my friends," or whatever. Like they've just been at church camp all summer and bonded, and they're going to write letters to each other or whatever. I mean, she would never say that. She might do what she did, trick her out to end the battle, but she's not going to go, "These are my friends." And I was like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
I was about to walk out at that point. I knew it was close.
I was close, because not only was the movie bad, but there was all the, the people being shitty in the theater and all that other type of stuff. But yeah, like there was a point where I was like, I think I've got the gist of this. I'm going to get out of here. I was very close.
I was the first guy out in my auditorium. The second the first credit hit the screen, I was up and walking.
Same here.
And I know half of them or more waited for that mid-credit scene I read about, but I didn't even. You could have shown me. I'm not even going to finish that sentence. I wouldn't have stayed for that mid-credit scene.
It doesn't matter.
It wasn't worth it.
Batman reviving Superman in his manner.
And having gay sex with him.
And having gay sex with him, yes. So
I do want to wonder out loud, is WB going to now panic in reaction to this movie and fuck up Wonder Woman? Because that's what happened here. They panicked when Batman v Superman came out, and it was so panned, and they started tinkering with Suicide Squad to try and fix it.
I have a lot of divergent opinions on Wonder Woman's trailer. Like that looks awesome, and everybody's excited about it right now.
Right. Until
you start seeing it a million times, kind of like Suicide Squad.
Well, we were all excited about the Suicide Squad trailer.
When I first saw Suicide Squad trailer, I was like, yeah, that's me. And I was also excited about the prospect of it being another R-rated movie, and they just getting away with everything. And then it was PG-13, and that sent red flags up. But Wonder Woman is one of those movies where, yeah, I mean, it looks good now, but what are you going to think about it by the time it's about to come out? Because you're going to see 500 trailers for this thing.
Yeah.
And so yeah, maybe they might panic. That's just the way studios are. And unfortunately, a $135 million opening weekend tends to make you think you made the right choices. And that's the problem. You could have left this movie alone. It would have made $135 million over the weekend.
Right.
They don't understand that, though. They think everything that they did led to this point. It's results-oriented thinking.
Yeah.
And so, they're gonna probably think, well, we need to do this to Wonder Woman too, maybe. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't either. Or Justice League, right?
Yeah,
they got a bunch of Justice League in the can.
Yeah.
It concerns me greatly, but we shall see. I just wish they would. I wish somebody in power there would go, we're doing the opposite of what we should do. Let's hire a really talented filmmaker and stay out of it until they give us the final cut. And I'll guarantee you it's going to be better.
Yeah. I guess in summary, this is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
This is not a good movie at all.
This summer is a piece of shit.
This summer is one of the worst on record. This reminds me of 2005.
When Civil War is one of my favorite movies of the summer, and I only kind of enjoyed that. It's a bad summer.
This is a terrible summer. Now, we haven't seen everything, obviously. I mean, there's some other movies out there like Finding Dory and all that, but the big, huge tentpole movies that we've seen this year have been awful.
Yeah, almost to like Star Trek we enjoyed.
But
it wasn't like A+ amazing.
No, not A+ movie at all. Jason Bourne was either not very good or just kind of good, depending on what you really thought of it.
Where do we letter grade this bitch?
This one gets I would say a D-.
You know, I'm in the low C's. I was going to say a C-. I could go D+ pretty easily.
This is D- for me.
I don't give out a lot of D's or F's.
Really, the only reason, and neither does the people who watch movies and do their cinema score things, because they're always just like, I don't want to piss anybody off. Maybe it's a B.
Yeah,
because cinema score that never goes down to if it's C, then it's a horrible movie. But this is D- for me, mainly because I think the only thing good about it is Margot Robbie.
Mm-hmm.
I think Will Smith's fine in it. I just think his mannerism, what they wrote for him would have worked better in the 90s, not now, where it seems sad that he keeps doing these things. And so that's the only thing I liked was Margot Robbie in this movie.
Yeah.
It's the only thing.
Yeah.
Well, what about you?
I'm right there in between at a D.
D? Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. So this is officially the worst movie we've podcast reviewed, at least if you go by the combined letter grade score.
Where do we stand on this real quick between this and Batman versus Superman?
I would rather watch Batman v Superman.
Batman v Superman is not the mess that this is. It's even though it's kind of a mess, it's not nearly this.
And it's got a lot more cohesion. And got that whole. I'm just saying.
Can you imagine
Batman
we're saying
Superman?
Yeah,
but this movie doesn't have. Suicide Squad has nothing like that scene where Batman attacks the warehouse at the end of Batman v Superman and just beats ass. There's nothing like that in this movie that you can walk out and go, at least that kicked ass. There's nothing like that.
Yeah, there was nothing in there. So to those of you who loved it, God bless you. I can't enjoy it on the same level as you guys do. This is just piece of shit to me. So I'm glad that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, I can't. I'm sorry.
All right.
Anyway, that will be the mini pod. Squatty pod for this week. I don't think we're going to do one for a while now. It might be till October, maybe
fall season.
Maybe so.
When they start putting out big tent poles again.
Yeah, although we might, maybe Magnificent Seven. We have to figure that out because that comes out in September.
I definitely want to see that.
That comes out in September. So there's a possibility of that. Anyway, that's going to be the mini pod for this week. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening.
Comment on our episodes on our SoundCloud page. Check us out on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Reddit. And be sure to visit CinemaSins.com.
I wanted to compare this movie to Seinfeld, the girl that Jerry dates that every time he sees her, she's either pretty or ugly and keeps going back and forth based on the light. That's what this movie is. Every other scene is a different movie, and I don't really know which one I'm dating.
It's a Two-Face.
Yeah, it's a Two-Face.
I'm familiar with this.
Yeah. I love Kramer's reaction when the ugly version walks in. He's like, oh.
I watched this 8:30 last night, and fuck me, man. I sometimes forget how much I hate watching movies with people.
Oh, Jesus. You're not joking.
And especially a movie like this that brings a different type of person out there who don't give a fuck. You know, Suicide Squad, that's me, man, basically. You know, and there was this couple like behind me fucking talking the whole goddamn time.
Oh, really?
And just the guy had like chains or some shit on his jeans. So like he'd get up and walk and like ching, 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 ching. The only time it was quiet was when one of them would leave the theater.
It's like he's Jacob Marley.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Not the best environment.
Not the best environment. And these days, I used to have balls about that and just go, stop. You guys got to stop. Used to have balls about that. Not anymore.
Yeah. You never
Not
know.
anymore. Yeah, it's the thing. You don't know now.
Yeah.
Because things happen.
Well, also, when I'm in that situation, I'm always thinking, once I do that, once I say something, I've just killed the rest of the movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because I'm going to have to go talk to the manager or this guy or something.
Yeah, there's no way out of it,
Right.
really. I've done it before, though. Like, just get up and it's just like, guys, come on. You know?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
And you know.
Let's talk about this.
Yeah, let's talk about this for a second.
I found, when I was moving, this CD of Funkadelic classics that were remixed. And there's one where they do Flashlight with Q-Tip and George Clinton, and it's fucking amazing.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It's awesome.
Flashlight, the song
The
from
Funkadelic song.
Pitch Perfect 2.
Yes.
The Jesse J song.
That song.
That chicken wing was so out of place.
Yeah.